Daf Yomi, Tractate Chullin, page 37a, top of the page, with the word my. My ki mahanyachi basakoitesh lebsula de gufe aval lemim ne berishon de sheni lo oidilma lo ishnateku. The Gemara asks, what is the resolution of the dilemma raised by Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish when regard for sanctity is effective in rendering an item susceptible to impurity? Is it only to disqualify that item itself, but to count the descending levels of first degree impurity and second degree impurity it is not effective? Or perhaps, once it is rendered susceptible to impurity, there is no difference whether it is rendered susceptible by means of regard for sanctity or by means of contact with liquids. The Gemara answers, Teku, the dilemma shall stand unresolved until the coming of the Messiah, son of David. And now we start the new Mishnah. Hashoichet es hamuskenes. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel omer, Ad shetifarkes beyad uveregel. Rabbi Eliezer omer, Dayo im zinko. Omer Rabbi Shimon, Hashoichet belaylo, ולמחר ישכים ומועצו כסור למלאים דם כשרה שזינקה וכמידס רבי אליעזר וחכמים אומרים עד שתפרכס או ביד או ברגל או עד שתחש קש בזנבו. Okay, that's the Mishnah, folks. Now let's see what that is in English. In the case of one who slaughters an animal that is in danger of imminent death, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, the slaughter is valid only in a case where, after the slaughter, it convulses with its foreleg and with its hind leg. Rabbi Eliezer says, it is sufficient if blood spurted from the neck. Rabbi Shimon says, in the case of one who slaughters at night, and the next day he awoke and found walls full of blood, the slaughter is valid, as it is clear that the blood spurted, and this is in accordance with the rule of Rabbi Eliezer. And the rabbis say it is valid only in a case where it convulses with its foreleg or with its hind leg, or in a case where it wags its tail. Poor thing. Okay. Let's look at this. Further. Echad behema daka, vechad behema gaso, behema daka, sheposhtu yoda, lohech aziro, pesula, she'eno ela hoitzaas nefesh bilvad. Amer devoim amurim, shehoyse becheskas besukenes, aval im hoyse becheskas brio, afilu ein bo echad mikol hasimonim, halalu kashero. This is the halacha with regard to both a small animal, for example a sheep, and a large animal, for example a cow, that is in danger of imminent death. The slaughter of a small animal that, when being slaughtered, extended its foreleg that was bent and did not restore it to the bent position is not valid, as extending the foreleg is only part of the natural course of removal of the animal's soul from its body, and not a convulsion indicating life. In what case is this statement said? It is in a case where the presumptive status of the animal was that it was in danger of imminent death. But if its presumptive status was that it was healthy, then even if there were none of these indicators, the slaughter is valid. That's the Mishnah. Now we start the Talmud. Misukenes mimai dishayo, umimai tisagadaitin vasiro, deasiro dichtiv, zot hachaya asher tochlu, chaya echol, v'she'eno chaya lo tochel, v'ha misukenet eno chaya. The Gemara asks, from where is it known that the flesh of an animal in danger of imminent death is permitted by means of slaughter. The Gemara responds to the question, and from where would it enter your mind that it is prohibited? The Gemara explains that one may have thought that it is prohibited. As it is written, these are the living beings that you may eat among all the animals that are on the earth. Leviticus 11:2. One might have thought that the verse is saying, eat an animal that is fit to live, but do not eat an animal that is not fit to live. And this animal in danger of imminent death is not fit to live. The fact that its meat is permitted is derived from the fact that the Merciful One states that you shall not eat an unslaughtered animal carcass, as it is written, you shall not eat any unslaughtered carcass, Deuteronomy 14:21. One learns by inference that eating the meat of an animal in danger of imminent death is permitted, as if it enters your mind that eating the meat of an animal in danger of imminent death is prohibited. Now, if an animal is prohibited while alive, is it necessary to state that it is prohibited after death? V'dilma haynu nevela haynu misukenes lo so kedai tichtiv chiyamos min habehema asher yilochem lo'achlo hanogia b'nivloso liachar miso dikargi rachmana nevela mechayim lo ikri nevela. The Gemara rejects that proof, and that is not a legitimate inference, as perhaps the halachic status of an unslaughtered carcass is the same as that of an animal in danger of imminent death, and the prohibition, you shall not eat an unslaughtered carcass, includes both. The Gemara answers, it would not enter your mind to say so, as it is written, and if any animal of which you may eat dies, one who touches its carcass shall be impure until the evening. Leviticus 11:39. This indicates that it is after death that the Merciful One calls the animal a carcass. While alive, the animal is not called a carcass. The Gemara questions that understanding, and perhaps, actually, I will say to you, the halachic status of an unslaughtered carcass is the same as that of an animal in danger of imminent death, but if one slaughters the animal in danger of imminent death while alive, he would be in violation of a positive mitzvah. These are the living things that you may eat, Leviticus 11:2. Whereas after his death, he would be in violation of a prohibition, which states, you shall not eat any unslaughtered carcass, Deuteronomy 14:21. Rather, the fact that it's meat is permitted is derived from the fact that the Merciful One states, you shall not eat that animal. You shall not eat that animal with a wound that will cause it to die within 12 months. That's what a treifa is, as is written, you shall not eat any animal that was mauled in the field. Treifa, Exodus 22:30. From here, one learns by inference that eating the meat of an animal is in danger of imminent death is permitted, as if it enters your mind that eating the meat of an animal in danger of imminent death is prohibited. Now that an animal in danger of imminent death that is not lacking any limb is prohibited, is it necessary to state that a treifa, an animal that was mauled and lacking body parts, is prohibited? V'dilma haynu treifa haynu mesukenes v'la'avo alav b'aseh v'lo taseh im kein nevela dichtav rachmana lamali u'ma michay mikoyara v'rav yaseh racham yisumi baye. The Gemara rejects that proof, and that is not a legitimate inference, as perhaps the halachic status of a treifa that is lacking body parts is the same as that of an animal in danger of imminent death that is not lacking body parts, and both are included in the category of treifa. This would render one who slaughters either to be in violation of both a positive mitzvah, these are living beings that you may eat, and a prohibition, and you shall not eat any animal that was mauled in the field. A treifa. The Gemara questions that understanding. If so, why do I need the prohibition that the Merciful One writes with regard to an unslaughtered carcass, if while an animal is alive, one stands in violation of a prohibition and a positive mitzvah? It is necessary to state that it is prohibited after death. V'dilma hainu nevela hainu treifa hainu misukenes v'la'avo alav b'shnei lavim aseh. The Gemara objects, and that is not a legitimate question, as perhaps the halachic status of an unslaughtered carcass is the same as a treifa that is lacking body parts, and is the same as that of an animal in danger of imminent death that is not lacking body parts. Therefore, when the Torah writes the word carcass, it is the same as though it had written treifa, and the same as though it had written an animal in danger of imminent death. The Torah prohibits each, and the result will be that he will violate two prohibitions and a positive mitzvah. Sochluhu. Omar Mao, Ma'ir Chasomra Torah. Yoris Nevela V'Yochol Ali Sochelev. Rather, the fact that the meat of an animal in danger of imminent death is permitted is derived from here. And the fat of a carcass and the fat of a treifa may be used for any purpose, but you shall not eat it. Leviticus 7:24. As the Master says, in order to derive what halacha is this verse written, would one imagine that because it is an unslaughtered carcass or a treifa, its fat would be permitted for consumption? The Torah states, let the prohibition against eating an unslaughtered carcass come and take effect upon the prohibition against eating forbidden fat, which already exists. One who eats the forbidden fat of an unslaughtered carcass is liable for a violation of both prohibitions. Likewise, the word treifa in the verse teaches, let the prohibition against eating a treifa come and take effect upon the prohibition against eating forbidden fat, which already exists, so that one who eats the forbidden fat of a treifa is liable for transgressing both prohibitions. Okay, we'll stop here and continue with Amud Bet.